69 pounds, from Dedham, Massachusetts, the New England featherweight champion, Freddie Roach.
And so we continue with our boxing here on ESPN. This featherweight encounter scheduled for 10 rounds. David Capo in the blue trunks from New York with a record of 3-4. Freddie Roach from Dedham, Massachusetts with a record of 20-1 with 9 knockouts. And the man with the blue jacket on is Eddie Futch, and he trains Freddie Roach. One of the better trainers in the sport.
One of the better, he might be the trainer.
Here we go, round number 1. That's the Roach in white trunks, Capo in the blue.
Freddie Roach, the choir boy. David Capo, the road runner. Tonight he told me, he said, I don't like that tag you hung on me a few years ago. I'm coming out punching tonight.
Capo's fights really go the distance, don't they?
He's got a record of 3 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Except his 4 losses, every one have been hairline decisions. I'd say 2 of them have been robberies. He beat the world champion Leo Randolph, former Olympic champion.
Just before the bout, you saw the middleweight champion of the world, Marvin Hagler, introduced here to this crowd. They love him here in Boston. Marvin Hagler has made this part of the country his home. He trains here, he fights here, and they love it. They haven't had a big-name fighter in this part of the country since Rocky Marciano.
Talk about a guy who shows you no mercy. Marvelous, Marvin Hagler.
And he certainly shows genuine happiness for his younger brother, Robbie Smith.
I wonder if they'd ever fight each other.
Can't believe it.
I know.
In Massachusetts, it's the 10-point must system if you're scoring at home. Freddie Roach in the white trunks, David Capo in the blue.
Freddie Roach about 5'5". David Capo, I don't think he's any taller than 5'3". So for most of his career, he was always getting hit with left jabs. So he developed a pattern where he'd run around the ring and use every square inch. So a few years ago, I hung a tag on him, the road runner.
From what we've heard before the fight, this bout may go the full 10 rounds, and it could be very close.
Well, David Capo, he's a sparring partner of Howard Davis Jr., another Olympic champion, and he's the one guy who can outspeed the speedy Howard Davis.
Neither fighter dominant yet. They've been trading pretty good here in the opening round. Certainly not feeling each other out.
No, Capo said he's going to come out throwing punches, and he has been throwing a lot of punches. Not running like he usually does.
The crowd got a rise out of those punches by Roach, but they were in fact all blocked by David Capo.
Well, you got to remember that Freddie Roach is a local hero, and if he misses with a punch, they're going to come alive over here.
We're coming down the stretch of a very competitive opening round between these two featherweights. Freddie Roach really is fast.
When you get down this weight, it seems like everybody's fast. But Freddie Roach, a good young fighter.
Well, the crowd loves it here in Boston. Very good first round. We're in the Hotel Bradford, and there you see the corner of Freddie Roach with Eddie Futch, who trained Kenny Norton and smoked Joe Frazier.
For people who don't know, Eddie Futch was the man who choreographed Kenny Norton's victory over Muhammad Ali, the jaw-breaking fight March 31st, 1973. He told Kenny Norton the way to fight the guy, you can't box him, you got to jump on him. When Freddie Roach was taught by Eddie Futch, when the man teaches you, you stay taught.
And it was Eddie Futch before the 15th round in Manila who would not let Joe Frazier continue against Muhammad Ali. They only had 3 minutes to go, but he would not endanger Joe Frazier, and he stopped that thriller.
Joe Frazier was still in the fight at that time, but bleeding from the mouth, his eyes were shut, and despite the fact that Joe Frazier could have won the fight, Eddie Futch said, no more, son, it's all over.
Eddie Futch has a lot of class, and now he's working with this young featherweight, Freddie Roach, wearing the white trunks, David Capo in the blue. You're watching Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. Tonight, televising this action from Boston.
Here you see the fast hands of David Capo on the inside, a double left hook.
Freddie Roach in the white trunks with the cherubic looks. Doesn't look like a fighter.
He looks like a choir boy. It's the choir boy against the road runner.
Crowd quiet now, waiting for a flurry.
Capo's hair is getting in his eyes, and maybe between rounds he ought to bring in a scissor. Get rid of some of that hair. He can't see.
Freddie Roach is the aggressor, but David Capo is counter-punching well.
Well, David told us that he's going to throw punches and not run around so much, and he is doing just that.
Capo has what I call good balance. He never seems to be leaning on one foot or out of position. And that time, Capo missed with an overhand right halfway through the second round.
Where David could be in trouble, sometimes to the outside he tries to throw a hook, and he's just too short. He's got to get in close, or he's got to use the jab and the right cross quickly, snap him out and get back.
Freddie Roach in the white has won 20 of his 21 bouts. Less than a minute to go in the second round.
For the fans who want to learn how to box, this is the fight. Both fighters do everything right from the textbook. They bob, they weave, they throw that left hand, they throw combinations, and they know how to use the ring.
For the first time on our card tonight, we're seeing an extensive use of the jab by both fighters.
Three very pretty left hands by Capo, and he followed it up. Didn't stop there. Three left jabs and a right hand.
Capo complaining that Roach hit on the break, and he did.
I think he's got a beef.
Capo slugs his way out of that clinch.
It made him angry.
Short with that right hand. In the final seconds of the second round, this one is heating up. Both fighters missing the bell. Well, we'll return with more featherweight action from Boston after we take this pause on your #1 source for sport. Shoulder of Freddie Roach as his trainer Eddie Futch leaves his corner, ready for the third round, scheduled for 10 between these two featherweights, and it has been rat-a-tat-tat since the opening bell. A very good matchup, Randy. Both fighters with equal skill.
Well, this is the kind of action that has made a lot of fans turn to the lighter divisions. The big guys look for that one big punch. These guys come out all over the place, all over the ring, punches from every angle.
And despite a lot of punching, neither fighter has been dominant. It's a very even fight. Good countering move by Freddie Roach.
At Ring Magazine, we have Freddie Roach rated the number 10 bantamweight, featherweight, excuse me, in the United States, and David Capo, the number 10 rated bantamweight, as he can get down to 118 pounds very easy.
Capo weighed 128 today, Roach 129. And Roach pounded his way out of that clinch. Roach with a very nice left hook on that last exchange. Capo short with his punch.
See, the old David Capo would have been running all around the ring. The new David Capo, the one that said he's no longer the road runner, wouldn't be getting hit with a single punch, but he's coming to fight tonight and he's making it interesting.
I think Capo was intimidated by the nickname you gave him, the road runner. He wants to prove on nationwide television tonight that he is not someone who just rides a bicycle.
Right. Both these men turned pro in 1978. Freddie Roach has had 21 fights. In the same period of time, David Capo has had only 8 fights. That's because nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight a guy they can't hit. So he wants to change that label tonight.
He's had, Capo has had the reputation in the past of making fighters look bad because of that style.
You've got to look bad if you're fighting David Capo because he's running all around the place. But tonight, it's a different David Capo. And I'm happy for him because maybe he's going to get some more fights now.
I notice here that Roach is not cutting the ring off on Capo. Capo is turning him around like a little puppet.
Well, the first 2 rounds, Roach had been doing that. Now David's beginning to pick it up. He's got great legs. He jumps rope perhaps better than anybody in the game, and I'm talking about Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. He's a picture to watch.
A couple of big left hands by Freddie Roach. First it was a hook, and then it was a straight left. And for the first time in this fight, David Capo was stunned. He isn't hurt, but he was stunned. We're in the final seconds of the 3rd round.
He's a pro. He knows how to get out of it. He's been in with the fastest fighter in the game, Howard Davis, and if he can get away from him, he can get away from Freddie Roach.
Freddie Roach let go with some of that speed. And now the referee is warning Freddie Roach. And did you pick that up, Randy?
I think that was because Freddie Roach was punching. He was about to break him, and he wouldn't respect the referee and continue to punch.
Well, we'll be right back with more of this bout after this timeout.
Be ready for action when tomorrow's champions punch their way into your picture on Top Rank Boxing, Thursday nights at 9 Eastern Time. Once the opening bell sounds, anything can happen on hard-hitting Top Rank Boxing live on ESPN.
Now Freddie Capo is trying to take away some of the thunder from Freddie Roach, who started to dominate a little bit in that 3rd round.
For the first time, he hurt David Capo with a double left hook, and David started to use the ring the way he did in the past. He's a pro, though.
Capo is having problems with the soles of his shoes. Between rounds, they brought in some rosin into the ring. Apparently, the soles are slippery. Perhaps he has new soles because the shoes look worn. And Capo still is slipping.
Every time he steps in with a jab, he slides forward. He's very frustrated by it.
Freddie Roach in the white trunks. David Capo in the blue. We're in the 4th round, scheduled for 10 between these 2 featherweights. And if you've been watching since the opening round, we've had lots of action. And for you boxing purists, this has been a pleasure. Left-right combination by Freddie Roach.
This is why I love to watch the lighter division. Give me the featherweights any day of the week over heavyweight.
Another combination by Roach. Capo could not counterpunch. He missed with a right hand. Countering right by Capo that time. No cuts, no knockdowns. Halfway through the 4th round. And a very furious pace, too. You wonder if they can go 10 rounds like this.
I'm sure they can. I've watched David Capo train, and I know what Freddie Roach is like. These men could go 15 if they had to.
A lot more trading here in the 4th. Once again, a left-right combination by Freddie Roach. Roach tried to lead right, but it hit the chest of Capo. Capo ties him up. Vice bomb now breaks them up. A left hook by Roach, and that was effective.
David Capo is tries to get on the inside, and as he moves in, he keeps his right hand down by his waist, and he continually gets nailed by the fast-handed hooks of Freddie Roach.
Roach hit he hit Capo with a couple of combinations, left, rights, and that time he changed up, he threw a left hook instead. Freddie Roach digs a right-hand lead into the abdomen of Capo. Capo with a chopping right hand. Another left-right combination by Roach.
It didn't really hurt him, it just caught him off balance a little bit. The soles of those shoes are very slippery.
Another combination by Roach at the bell. Freddie Roach with his best round goes back to his corner. And
That's Lou Duva from New Jersey, manager of one of the best stables of fighters, Tony Ayala, Rocky Lockridge, Bobby Ches.
He adds a bird's eye view of this encounter. We're now in the 5th round. Freddie Roach in the white trunks, David Capo in the blue, and Roach begins the 5th the way he began the 4th, with a combination. Right hand lead missed by Roach, but Roach hits Capo with the left hand. Another left-right combination by Roach. And David Capo is starting to take more punches now as this fight's getting older.
Because he knows he's lost those first few rounds. At least I think he does anyway, and he's trying so hard to get inside, and those shoes just won't let him. That's why sometimes a smart manager will bring another pair, even if he has to bring sneakers, which would have been the best for this kind of canvas.
If you just tuned in, Capo in the blue has been having problems with his shoes, has been slipping on this canvas. That last round, the 4th round, was absolutely a piece of work by Freddie Roach, who hit Capo with jabs, with hooks, with lead rights. He worked the top, he worked the bottom. This round is only a minute old.
Freddie Roach just taking his time, shuffling forward, never running after David Capo, trying to cut the ring off.
I must say that Freddie Roach is one of the fastest fighters I have seen in a long time.
I'm very impressed with Freddie Roach.
Halfway through the 5th round, and we're going to have to use slow motion on some of those combinations to see them.
They're quick. These are not two of the best young up-and-coming fighters in the world. These are two world-class fighters.
Now, Capo did very little in that last round, and here in the 5th, he also is ineffective as Roach is getting off quicker and is landing more punches. Roach missed with that right hand. Roach digs a couple of lefts, throws a right to the kidney. Capo's tied him up, and you see a lot more tying up by Capo than earlier in the fight.
David Capo's last fight was on October 4th in Accra, Ghana. He fought a guy by the name of Nelson Azuma. He lost a 10-round decision. From some reports I heard he won every single round of the fight.
Well, David Capo has got another kind of a problem here tonight. Freddie Roach has speed, and more speed.
Freddie Roach is not Nelson Azuma.
Another left-right combination. Excuse me, Randy.
He could very well be the future featherweight champion of the world.
Freddie Roach, the choir boy, isn't fighting like a choir boy. He's fighting like an alley fighter. And that'll take care of 3 minutes by Freddie Roach. We'll be right back here in Boston after we take this pause. We're halfway through this featherweight encounter between Freddie Roach and David Capo. Neither fighter is fatigued. Both of these guys are in tremendous shape. They're hardly breathing.
They can go
in a strenuous way.
15 rounds. They've trained for this. David Capo told me, I'm tired of losing. Freddie Roach told me, I want the title.
The first 5 rounds, very entertaining. We give the edge unofficially to Freddie Roach halfway through the fight. We're now in the 6th. Did you notice Capo slip there a little bit?
He continually slips. I wish they'd do something with the bottom of his shoes if they have to just take a knife and slice them.
Left hook by Freddie Roach. Capo continues to circle. Roach stands practically in the middle of the ring, and even though he's not cutting off the ring, he has been effective against Capo.
Well, the pattern has been the same throughout the fight. Capo continually moves to his left, and Freddie Roach, I think, already is reading that.
Capo holding on a lot more in between rounds, as this 6th round is only a minute old. Between rounds, and there's Capo with a left-right combination of his own. I wanted to say that Eddie Futch, Roach's trainer, told him between rounds to dip away when Capo holds on. That is to move backwards and dip down so that he could slip his arms away from Capo.
Right, you don't want to stand in there with a guy too often, because then he starts to read you, and you become easier to hit. Your head is a much more vulnerable target.
Halfway through the round, and Roach has slowed down considerably here. I don't think he looks tired. I think he is just sizing up Capo a lot more, waiting for opportunities like that.
Right. I'm pretty sure at this point he's just pacing himself just in case he needs it for a big finish. He feels he's in the lead. He feels that if he just boxes a little bit less, he's still going to win the round and can come on for a big finish.
Right hand lead by Roach connected. You're looking at Freddie Roach, 20 years old. He began boxing when he was 10. And his brother is a 4-time New England Golden Gloves champion at 106 pounds. So the Roach brothers are making an impression in this part of the country. Roach has won 20 of his 21 bouts, and he connected on David Capo.
David Capo was just about to start throwing a combination. His hands were down, and he got caught with a tremendous right hand.
In the final seconds of the 6th round.
Freddie Roach has learned, because only a few weeks ago, he was a sparring partner for the great Alexis Aguayo. And Alexis told me he's never had a sparring partner so good.
2 strong right hands by Roach. Capo can't trade with him. He shouldn't do that. Roach is just too quick, and that takes care of the 6th round.
Please listen carefully.
Big Trunks connecting with 2 right hands against David Capo in that last round, the 6th. And Capo just held on because he simply could not deal with the whirlwind of Freddie Roach. Here we go, round 7. And Roach begins with another strong right hand here in the 7th round.
But for the young fighters out there, notice that he's leading everything he's throwing just about with a left jab, and then he's following everything off that. Whether you throw a hook or anything, try to throw that jab first, just like he did then.
I guess you'd have to call Roach a textbook boxer.
Right from the beginning.
And lots of economy, too. He doesn't waste his time flailing about.
He doesn't jump up and down. He doesn't bounce all around. Nice and easy. Hands up, just presses forward, inches forward after his opponent.
The only marks on Roach are on his back. They seem to be lace scratches by David Capo, who's been doing a lot of holding.
Yeah, right from there. You just saw David Capo take his left hand and put it on Freddie Roach's back. And when he pulls it away, Freddie Roach is getting, it's like a rope burn, except this is a glove burn from the tape.
Neither fighter is marked. Neither fighter has been down. And we're 1 minute into the 7th round.
David Capo has an interesting story. He was abandoned at 2 weeks old. Never has seen his parents. He's been raised by his grandmother, and he would really love to know who his parents are. And you got to feel for the kid because he's such an excellent fighter. 3 wins, 4 losses, every one of them a robbery. And here tonight, it looks like he's headed towards his 5th defeat, but he's not out of the fight by any means.
In that last exchange, Roach began with a left-right combination. And that has been a familiar sight in this bout. We're halfway through the 7th. Roach continues to be the aggressor and continues to score a right uppercut. That's the first one we've seen tonight by Roach. Roach doesn't miss much. That's another thing I like about him.
Like you said before, Sal, very economical.
Another combination by Roach. Less than a minute to go in the 7th round. Capo cannot feel disgraced here. He's simply taking on a guy with immense speed.
That's his problem. He always fights guys with immense speed, with immense ability, and he winds up on the short end. He fights them in their hometown. He goes all over. He deserves a better fate than he's getting.
That time, Roach pushed Capo off and hit him with a right hand. And he did it again, the same move. That's the best way to break a clinch, by yourself. Why wait for the referee?
Well, you got to be careful because if you shove a guy back, your hands are out in front of you and you're vulnerable to a quick counter.
And once again, Roach has that speed to get away with a maneuver like that.
Yes, that's where he can do that. If a heavyweight tried it, his hands are out there and it's good night.
Sweet Prince. And that takes care of the 7th round. We'll be back for the 8th after this pause.
The next 6
are through 7 rounds in this featherweight bout, scheduled for 10. Randy Gordon and I both agree that Roach is way ahead of Capo. Randy Gordon, the editor of Ring Magazine, has Roach pitching a shutout. I had Capo winning the 2nd round. That's our only disagreement, but there's no question about it. Roach is way ahead. Capo went down on a slip. At this point, I think it's fair to assume that Capo needs a knockout to win.
Definitely, no question about it. The referee just did a great job. A lot of referees will not wipe the gloves off. They forget about it.
Roach just tattooed Capo with the lefts and rights. You cannot blink watching Freddie Roach. This guy is quicker than quick.
Earlier, we saw the great manager Lou Duva sitting here. He's obviously scouting Freddie Roach as a future opponent for Rocky Lockridge, and I wonder what Lou is going to think about this after watching Freddie tonight.
Well, there's no question that Freddie Roach is fast. I think, my opinion is that Rocky Lockridge has too much power for Freddie Roach.
Be a great fight.
Yes, it would. I'll tell you, in a fight like that, you couldn't turn around and talk to the guy next to you. You got to keep your eyes on him.
Not for 1 second.
8th round is only a minute old.
Both fighters unmarked. Actually, the only marks on Freddie Roach are on his shoulders and on his back from the left glove of David Capo, where he continually holds on and tries to spin Freddie Roach.
Capo tries to get off, but he always gets a face full of leather. It's either the left or the right hand of Freddie Roach.
Freddie lives in Phoenix, and he works over there as an electrician. And he said one day his finger accidentally got caught in a socket, and he got such a jolt, he said, my hair went up like Don King.
We just passed the halfway mark of the 8th round. A right uppercut by Roach caught Capo. In this round, I noticed for the first time that Roach has been working the body. He's been headhunting all night. And now, Weissbaum warns Capo about hitting on the clinch. Earlier in the fight, he did the same thing.
Also, you got to watch the heads in there. When they're like that, those heads are banging around. Just like that, you can step back and have a cut, a deep one over an eye.
Another left-right combination. And now Roach is really tagging Capo. Capo got hit by a right hand and his head snapped back. But he is clear-eyed. His legs are strong. Less than 30 seconds to go.
Well, that attests to the great physical condition he's in. But tonight, he's just overmatched against a great young fighter.
Capo holding on as we come down the stretch of the 8th round. And Freddie Roach, despite his lead, has been relentless. He's not taking Capo or the verdict for granted. He continues to punch. There's the bell. We've got 2 more rounds to go. Ballroom of the Hotel Bradford, where Guy Lombardo, Rudy Valley, and Paul Whiting used to play with their orchestras. Tonight, Freddie Roach in the white is orchestrating a wonderful workout against David Capo. Roach way ahead on our cards. Of course, our card's unofficial. But it has been mostly Freddie Roach in this bout. Here we go, round 9.
Back in his corner between rounds, Freddie Roach wasn't so much as breathing hard. In fact, he was joking with Eddie Futch. He was joking about when he slipped once. He said, I got to watch it in there.
Roach's speed has caused him to dominate Freddie Capo. In that last round, the 8th, Roach really teed off and hit Capo with a couple of tough right hands. needs a knockout to win.
There's no question.
Big right hand by Roach, and Capo holds on. A left and then a right by Roach. Freddie Roach, I think, can handle himself with most lightweights in the world.
Well, he's ready for the title. Ready now.
We're in the midst of the 9th round. Roach digging lefts under Capo's head. A left hook by Roach, right uppercut by Roach. Capo unable to even touch Roach. We've been talking about Roach's offense all night. He shows pretty good defense too.
Tremendous defense. That's because he's schooled by Eddie Futch, the best there is. David Capo has been forced out of his fight plan. He can no longer box. Even if he wins the last 2 rounds, it doesn't mean anything. So he knows he's got to try to knock out Freddie Roach, and I don't think he can do it.
Beginning of that last flurry, Roach hit Capo with that familiar left-right combination. We've perhaps seen that maybe 30 times tonight. We're in the final seconds of the 9th round. Capo's going to dream about those left-right combinations.
Yep, and he's going to start dreaming about taking on a lesser opponent and possibly dropping down to the bantamweight division because these guys are too big for him. This weight, he's just too short for it at 5'3".
Roach isn't content with just throwing a jab. He's got that right hand coming off the jab.
That's the mark of a champion.
That'll take care of the 9th round. We have 1 more round to go. And a very confident Freddie Roach strides back to his corner. We have NCAA Carolina State, NCAA basketball on ESPN. We're back for the 10th round, the last round between these two featherweights, David Capo in the blue, Freddie Roach in the white. Roach way ahead in our cards, which of course are unofficial. He has been the classier boxer.
Sal, this has been the most competitive, one-sided fight I've ever seen.
Capo took a right hand, and that time Roach really dug with his right foot and had a lot of leverage on that punch.
I've seen shutouts before, but never like this. Every round, from the opening bell, it's been like this.
Capo with a left and a right, and after several rounds of being ineffective, Capo finally lands a combination. Interesting note there, too. Right uppercut by Roach. Randy, as you pointed out, as dominant as Roach has been, you know, Capo isn't cut up. He's not staggered. He's very combative, but he cannot handle the hand speed of Freddie Roach.
I don't know how many fighters could handle the hand speed and combinations of Freddie Roach. Juan Laporte in December, a fine young featherweight from New York, got a shot at Salvador Sanchez. I think this man, Freddie Roach, is as fine a fighter as Juan Laporte, and that says a lot for Juan Laporte. And I think that this man should get a title shot within the next year. But that's up to the powers that be.
Halfway through the final round. Have a lot more boxing coming your way on ESPN. After this bout, we have a couple of heavyweights, Steve Zowski and Clayman Parker. Zowski is 20-1 with 14 knockouts. Clayman Parker is 28-8-1. You're looking over the shoulder of one of the judges at ringside as we look at Capo and Roach finish out what has been a very entertaining bout. Less than a minute to go. Crowd here in Boston is going to give these two featherweights a big hand. This has been a treat over these last 10 rounds. A trade right hand. And Roach is not going to coast. He continues to hit he's way ahead. Capo crowding Roach. Roach looking for punching room as if he were behind, as if he really needed this last round. What a right hand by Roach. That staggered Capo. And now blood is trickling out of the right nostril of David Capo. A right to the body by Roach.
You know, most fighters will be backing up by now. Freddie Roach has the victory sewn up, but he's standing there punching, trying to knock him out.
A right hand by Capo, but Roach came back with a right hand of his own.
Where's the bell? It's long overdue, long overdue.
What a finish, and they're trading right hands.
The timekeeper is just watching the fight. He's not looking at his clock. He's just watching this exciting fight. He forgot about it.
Look at this. This is going to be a 4-minute round.
He's daydreaming. I've never seen anything like this. He's sleeping.
And the crowd is cheering, and this 10th round is going much too far. I'll guarantee you it's at least 4 minutes. And finally, there's the bell.
Sal, that is...
I have just been told in my earpiece that round went 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Sal, I've seen rounds go 3 minutes 10 seconds, 3 minutes 15 seconds. That is a record. And that man should be fined. He should be suspended.
Wow, the crowd really cheering. Roach, who put out a tremendous exercise and punching ability and power tonight. And the fight only marred by the fact that that last round went 3 minutes and 55 seconds. But otherwise, a very interesting and combative fight.
I'd like to know what the timekeeper was doing. He was watching the fight because I was looking at him, and not once did I see him look down at his watch.
Well, there's David Capo. Tremendous performance by Freddie Roach, who has wonderful hand speed, and David Capo simply couldn't handle it. Now let's get the official call.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. The winner, Freddie Roach.
Nobody can argue that. Freddie Roach, with a display of power and speed tonight, a unanimous victory over David Capo for Freddie Roach, his 21st victory in 22 bouts. And we'll talk to the speedster right after this.
Freddie Roach was in Boston. Let's listen to some of that 10th round action. By the way, the 10th round went 3 minutes 55 seconds.
Long overdue. What a finish, and they're trading right hands.
The timekeeper's just watching the fight. He's not looking at his clock. He's just watching this exciting fight. He forgot about it.
Look at this. This is going to be a 4-minute round.
He's daydreaming. I've never seen anything like this. He's sleeping.
Cheering, and this 10th round is going much too far. I'll guarantee you it's at least 4 minutes. And finally, there's the bell.
Sal, that is...
I have just been told in my earpiece that round went 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Sal, I've seen rounds go 3 minutes 10 seconds, 3 minutes 15 seconds. That is a record. And that man should be fined. He should be suspended.
The timekeeper in Boston was so... The timekeeper in Boston got so interested in Freddie Roach, he forgot to ring the bell to end the fight. So anyway, Freddie Roach that night upped his record to 22-1. He's back in the ring here on ESPN, and here's Chuck Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee for the next bout of the evening, John Worth. The next bout of the evening is the main event. 10 rounds of boxing in the featherweight division. Introducing, in the blue corner,